Welcome to American Outback, episode 6, Big Decision Time, with me, MrSealyp. I will need to speak up because the harvester is quite loud. We are, or I am, back on American Outback, and I have come to a rather large decision. Something I have never done before. I have been round and I have harvested field 6, field 21A, way over there, and field 1 is in the process of being harvested of all its soybeans. So far I have a full load of 70,000 litres of all 3 fields and whatever's left on this bit of the field. What's different and something I haven't done before is the fact that I came onto this map because with the Big Bud DLC coming out, I was ready for a change of map off of Lawfolds and I wanted to do a bigger American map. I didn't want to go back onto Goldcrest Valley, so I decided to do this one. However, as of yesterday, and if you've watched my first look map tour on Westbridge Hills 17, the new version, I am going to transfer over and do a let's play on Westbridge Hills from here. I've never done this before, and I know a lot of YouTubers do this, the whole concept of moving farms and all that kind of thing. That's what I'm going to do. I'm upping from here and I'm moving state. I'm not even quite sure what state I'm in at the moment. I know it's American Outback, somewhere like New Mexico or something, I really don't know. And I'm going Midwest to Westbridge Hills. Now, the thing I'm going to do, which I don't normally do, I'm going to sell all my crops, everything that I've got. Well, this is everything I've got. And I'm going to sell all my vehicles to see how much money I've got. I'll sell all the crops first, and that'll be one amount. That's the money I have. What I might do is just transfer all the vehicles I have now over to the new map, or I will sell everything and add the two together. Let's just see what I get for this. And take the combined amount of money over to the new map and start with the money. I'm thinking I'm going to take the money I've got and transfer the vehicles. That's what I'm thinking at the moment. And actually, I've got more for this than I thought I was going to get. What did I get? 113,000. That's not too bad. The prices on this are not Lawfold's prices. You know, 3,000, 4,000 for a litre. This was 1,615 they were offering here. So, like I say, that's what I'm going to do. This episode is going to be an unusual one, only because I'm going to finish off here, selling what I've got. I'm going to sell all my equipment, see what I've got, and then the second part of this episode will be me at Westbridge Hills. So a kind of transfer. I'm moving house, moving property. Why have I chosen to do this? Why now when I'm 5 episodes or 6 episodes in on this map? If you did watch the Westbridge Hills first look map tour, I really do like that map. It brings back very fond memories from playing on FS15. I know that sounds really cheesy and a bit, you know, a little bit corny, but it does. And the weird thing is, I love this map. It's a great map, brilliantly put together, and it is a good map. I wanted to do an American map other than Goldcrest Valley, and this was the one that was available other than Goldcrest Valley. But there's something about this, I'm not sure what it is. It seems a bit... It is a harsh environment. It's very dry, arid, it's flat, big fields. I just feel there's a little something missing. I'm not sure what it is. And I did this once before, and this is why I've decided to make this decision. When Cultiplow Park Farm came out, I really, really wanted to do Cultiplow Park Farm as a map, as a Let's Play. A lot of other people were doing it. I did a first look map tour on it, and I chose not to do a Let's Play on it because a lot of other people were already, and I thought, you know, I'm just going to be lost in the crowd kind of thing. And I regretted that decision because I really, really did want to do a Let's Play on it. So a kind of note to self after that was, if you want to do a Let's Play on the map, do a Let's Play on the map. So I want to do a Let's Play on Westbridge Hills, so that's what I'm going to do. It's not going to be a popular decision, maybe, I don't know. Some people seem to enjoy this one and like this map a lot. They may just be looking for an American map, and Westbridge Hills is an American map. So this was a conversation I had the other day with Fragdad. It's that curse of YouTube, and I've mentioned it before in here as well. You're damned if you do, you're damned if you don't. You make a decision because you think it's what people want you to do, you get criticised. If you don't do the thing that you think people want you to do, you get criticised. Whatever you do, you're going to get criticised. So it comes down to, you know what, do what you want to do. Have fun, enjoy it. Some people love it, some people hate it. It really doesn't matter as long as you're having fun playing. And that's kind of the rule to playing it yourself. Don't worry about what other people are doing. If you pick up tips and tricks and ideas from YouTubers or friends or whoever that you want to take on board, take them on board. If you don't want to, don't. It's your map. At the end of the day, play it how you want to play it. So, that's why I've come to the decision I have. That's why I'm going to be swapping over. I'm lining everything up ready for sale. I'm going to sell the last of that soybean and I'll be ready to sell everything. So with everything sold, the crops that is, and the bales from the other day and bits of money I made from contracting, I have $401,527 in the bank. This is a difficult decision. It hasn't always sat well with me when other YouTubers have done it and they move maps and take a ton of money with them, and you know, I don't know, I always thought it was a bit of a swizz, but realistically I haven't been on this map very long. I've spent a fair bit of money and a lot of time doing contracting to get the big harvester, to get the long trailers, to get the lorry. You know, I've got the million in nuggets, and I just think it would be a bit crazy to move map and start from absolutely nothing again. So like I say, whilst it doesn't sit very well, I can understand how and why people do it and how they justify it. How I'm going to transfer over at this precise moment, I'm not entirely certain, but I do need to start selling things. So let's sell. The other thing to bear in mind as well is that you only get a percentage of what these cost in the first place, which is, you know, that again, that's part and parcel. But also, I ploughed one field which I didn't own, so that's, I can't do anything about that. And I started off with one, but I did buy a field. So I'm even starting to think to myself, do I justify, sort of in the narrative of things, saying, well, if I sell that field to somebody before I leave, what would I get for it? You know, I don't know. What am I doing? I'm selling it, not customising it. Okay, 750,000. The money's creeping up. So if I replace the vehicles on the new map and then just put the 400,000 back into the bank, that's not too bad. If I take the money, the problem is the money won't go as far. Obviously, because you're not getting as much for the vehicles when you sell them. That's why I'm sort of not too sure how I'm going to go about it. Right, it'll need to be the trailer first, because I need the truck cab to move the other trailer. Awesome driving. Oh, I'm making a right meal of this. Okay. And the last two bits of machinery. Let's try and spin around for this one actually. Don't know if it'll register both. We'll see. It will. And that is it. So I'll just check in here, make sure I have sold everything. Oh, the pressure washer. Nothing leased. And that's it. $1,533,426. The one thing I have just realised is I'm probably going to have to go and find a train now to get to where I'm going, because I didn't leave myself a vehicle to drive there. How frustrating. Anyway, next time I see you, probably momentarily, I'll be at the new farm. Somewhere else in the country, at Westbridge Hills. See you in a bit. It's been a couple of frantic days of moving. We're finally unpacked, machinery's been delivered, and we're ready to begin. Westbridge Hills. Midwest. I've decided, in my head, it's going to be Iowa. Right, pretty much slap bang in the middle of the Midwest. So, Iowa it is. Westbridge Hills, Iowa. Now, there's a few things we need to address that I missed on my first look map tour. As someone pointed out, probably third look, because it was on FS 13, then 15, now 17. So probably third look map tour. One, there are nuggets. I didn't come across a single nugget while I was doing my kind of drive round and have a look at stuff. They are scattered far and wide. One of them being right here on the porch, oddly enough, just around the corner. Now I did find one earlier, so that's my second of 100 nuggets. So there are nuggets on the map. Now, the equipment that comes with the map, obviously the previous owners sold it, took it with them. Not too sure what they did with it. So I said what I was going to do was probably bring a lot of my equipment with me, or bring the money and buy new equipment. I wasn't too sure what I was going to do. So I did a bit of a trade-off between the two. There's a couple of other things I did want to point out. I have put in my own seed refill point and fertilizer refill point in the yard. I just felt it was needed. Haven't added any barns or anything yet. My equipment, a lot of the equipment I've brought over with me. I've still got my Lizard barrel core. I've still got my large 70,000-6 BSM. I've still got my semi-bale trailer. I have got, around the corner here, the Rostal mash, and the header is over there. But this is where things change ever so slightly. Rather than going with the Massey Ferguson Black Edition, I decided to go with the Terra variant, the Holmer Terra variant 600 Eco. High horsepower, not overly expensive, 249,000 I think, roughly that. This is going to be a bit more versatile for what I need to get going. I had the Jimper plough and I was going to buy a bigger plough. I'm not going to go straight in big bud, full on everything. I'm going to build up to it. I do want to get a big bud, I do want to get the big machinery. I've kind of gone part way in between. Rather than go with the Jimper plough, I've gone with the Agrisem Cultiplow. It cultivates, but it is a subsoiler and it gives you the same results as a plough. So I'm going to kill two birds with one stone. Rather than buy a plough and a cultivator, I've gone with that. Like I say, there have been trade-offs. I've gone with the Kuhn Metris and the PF 1500 for my sprayer, as I had before. But my seeder, I haven't gone with the Horsch Pronto. I've decided to go with the Great Plains. This was on the Big Bud DLC. I wanted a wider one. This will pull it. This only requires 280 horsepower. I think that was the right way around. Just check. Because under cultivators, this requires 420. Sorry, the Agrisem Cultiplow requires 420 horsepower. That's an 8 meter cultivator plough combo. When I did that on American Outback, that kind of Lemkin combination with 2.4, that was an 8 meter plough. So I haven't really gone far off. It's an 8 meter plough. The actual plough on the Big Bud DLC is only a 10.5, so I'm only a little bit off, 2 meters off. As far as the sewing machine goes, yeah, the Great Plains, which is here, requires 280. So I've got more than enough horsepower to pull it. It has got a 5,800 litre tank. It doesn't fertilise, but it does seed. But it does do all of those seeds on the bottom, which means it gives me a bit more versatility to start off with. And it does mean if I get onto much bigger fields, I can always add the Hatzenbickler TH 1400 for additional seed possibilities. Because I've fiddled around with these combinations, obviously I've spent less on the tractor, but then spent more on a plough but got a cultivator into the bargain. I spent more on my seeder than the horse pronto cost, and I bought obviously the placeables. So if you remember, when I sold everything, sold all my soybean, before I sold all my equipment, I was down to 400,000 on American Outback. So to take into account all the stuff I've bought, some that was cheaper, some that was more expensive, and buying the placeables, my total in the top right hand corner is only 200,000, not 400,000, because it was getting complicated to work out all the figures. One good thing was the people that left behind, tucked away in the corner, you might have seen it, they left the Puma. So rather than get the Zetor, I'm going to keep the case, which will do exactly the same job. It will be fertiliser spread and all sorts of stuff like that. Has got slightly higher horsepower, plus I was left some of these were in the barn already. So that's all the equipment. I haven't bought loads more. I haven't gone mentally huge with my equipment. Most of my equipment is still the same. There's been a couple of minor changes with my seeding and cultivating. So moving on from that, the other thing that's important is this. If I take this out here, it is a lovely day in Westbridge Hills, around Westbridge Hills. Right, if I come under my silos, because I've got it normal, I've got about 5,000–6,000 of everything, but this is where it gets interesting. The farm silo, look at the litre capacity. Now, unless my eyes deceive me, all those zeros are saying 10 million litres. That is 7 zeros there. So the capacity is 10 million litres. I'm going to struggle to fill that. But the other good thing is, hopefully, if this is correct, just like on Drummard, if I now scroll across, I've got my wheat, my barley, my canola, sunflowers, soybean, corn, potatoes, sugar beet, total mixed ration, chaff, wood chips, silage, straw, grass and hay. It looks like it takes everything. And with a 10 million litre capacity, did I say 10,000 before? I meant 10 million. I'm just not going to fill that. I don't see how. I wouldn't want to fill it because I'm trying to sell crops to make money. So anyway, that's rather a large capacity. I shouldn't have a problem with that, unless that is a mistake. That's all looking rather good. Got my jet wash here under the tree. Chickens are working away quite happily. All is wonderful. So, have a quick look on the map. And here's what's happened. When I left American Outback to head over here to Westbridge Hills, I had just harvested the 3 fields I had. One I started with, one I purchased, and one that I ploughed myself. They'd all just been harvested, they had been ploughed, so they were ready to use. So what I've done is the 2 fields that you start with, fields 16 and 17, I have ploughed and I have fertilised. I say ploughed, I've cultiplowed and fertilised. Interesting enough, the Cultiplow cultivated, but then also took away the ploughing need, but it also put it on its first fertilising state. Now, I don't know if that happens the first time you do a field anyway. So I went over with the sprayer, so it's now on the second, and then when I seed it, I'll then need to do it afterwards. But they're both ready to receive seed, as it would have been on American Outback. I would have needed to have reseeded the fields I had. So we are good to go, ready to begin our foray into Westbridge Hills. That, however, will have to wait for the next episode. This has been American Outback episode 6 and Westbridge Hills episode 0.5. Not quite an episode. The first episode on Westbridge Hills proper will be the next episode. It's been an odd one. I have to admit. And like I said before, some people will like it, some people won't. But then some people didn't like me going to American Outback, some people didn't like me doing Drummard, some people didn't like Lawfolds. It's the way of the world. But we're here. We're ready to begin. We are ready to conquer Westbridge Hills. Again. I hope you liked the episode. If you have, give us a like. If you don't subscribe yet, please do. If you want to leave a comment, feel free. I didn't forget it that time. And if you want to share the video, please be my guest. Whatever you should choose to do, thanks for watching.